Alrighty, that one is Lagbaja with Skentele. I don't even, is it Skentele Onigele? Definitely, you know why I played that song. That song is a special request from my guest, Elizabeth Adepogun. Of course, she's an event planner. This is what she wants. She's even not Naira. Yes, I wanted it. I asked her, is it old school or new beat? She said old school. I said, okay. So we're knowing a little bit about her and she likes it. And definitely, that's kind of feel that you have when she plans your event. In case you missed the first half, you missed a lot, but definitely you still get to hear from her. She is the founder of a Twins Luxury Event. So in case you're looking for planning your event in Regina, in case you're having headache, in case you be like me, where I don't want any stress. I don't, well, rather you see that stress to plan an event, because for her, she sees that passion. Me, I'm seeing that stress. So in case that you're someone like that, then you can go into Twins Luxury Event. You can find them on Instagram, Twins Luxury Events, in case you want to plan your event. Meanwhile, on things affecting us, I mentioned that in the news, we're talking about the Regina budget. We're talking about tax cuts. We're talking about property tax, lots of things. These are mathematics, economic things. But the major thing that it translates to is that the thing, it be like say he had small or he had plenty. Which one?
In between. In between. I think it's different for different people.
For different people, right? Yeah. Some people are enjoying the life, right?
Yeah. Some people don't even.
They're not bothered. You're not concerned them. You know, because but for those who will they come, just imagine like new immigrants, you just come in right here. It can be quite hard, like comparing, like when you look at buying houses, for example, compared to 10 years ago and now, it's a bit hard, especially for Regina, Saskatchewan. My studies in Calgary, just like it was much easier, like, but at least comparing the price right now, you see that, well, it has increased. So these are the things we're looking at, especially for immigrants coming here. How has it been? How's the cost of living been? How are you surviving? How are you coping with your taxes, all of that? I remember when I first came here to filing taxes, it was like oh god, I'm like, but you, for someone like you, because she has an economics accounting background, so it was easy, it was like easy peasy for you, and we just it was smooth sail, you just did it by yourself.
Well, not really, because the climate is different, Canada, Nigeria. Like I said, my first degree was in economics, and I do have my CPA, and then my husband happens to have decades of experience in banking. So you people are chopping up the money. Just like sometimes I don't even bother about the tax, he just does it.
Okay, right? at this rate, okay, she knows she's a mom of twins. They're very good at maths, right? They have no choice.
Yeah, they have no choice.
It's like my sister, because her husband studied statistics, and she studied statistics, and then her husband studied maths, and then as children I saw her grades, I'm like, you guys didn't have any choice now, you have to pass maths, like and it was smooth still for you. Okay, so that's a family in the banking industry who knows their calculations well. But let's look at how it's affecting cost of living, affecting newcomers, students, and small business owners in our community. But let's even start with even newcomers. I mean, from your own observations, seeing how things have progressed or digressed, how would you say the cost of living is?
Yeah, it's definitely impacted newcomers, and I think for different people. So there's students that are coming in new, they have their own peculiar challenges, right? Because sometimes students would come in, sometimes they're paying their way through school, in this inflation. And then newcomers as well, you come in as a new family, you're trying to get accommodation, you're trying to just settle before you even start thinking about all of those stuff. So the impact is great, for a lot of newcomers. But one thing I always say is, seek resources and seek help. And I think I listened into your show last week, and you talk about the same thing, where don't suffer in silence, right? You need to speak out, you need to seek resources. There's lots of resources in the community that can help. I used to be a part of the board of Dress for Success Regina, and what they do is they clothe you for an interview, for a job interview. So you can walk in there like you're walking into a store, nice clothing, and then they even help you for the first few months when you're in the job, so you don't have to worry about what to wear to work, right? So that's a resource. There's Regina Open Door Society, there's the Nigerian Canadian Association as well, there's Regina Immigrant Women's Center, right? So there's a lot of resources that are available for newcomers to actually get help from, right? But I really understand, as a newcomer coming in, and having to struggle even getting a home. So there used to be a first time unbiased credit. I don't know if they still have it. So that's something for someone who's buying a home for the first time that they can take advantage of as well, right? So it's all about putting your ears to the ground, seeking help, asking questions. And also I always say the first people that you interact with as a newcomer, would definitely impact the trajectory of your life in Canada. If you roll with people who are going to tell you, you know what, just go keep that your degree under the bed and go get a job in Walmart. I mean, nothing wrong with working in Walmart, but you need to work with people who are positive minded, who've actually walked the walk, and they can show you the ropes so that you can get started, you know, on the right track.
I'm gonna bring something that we're not using. That's the credit system. I think most people, they enter into debt with it. Like it's like, okay, it's a savior. Oh, fine, I can do things with the credit card, but some people are running into millions of debt, and most newcomers, most immigrants, you look at it, we're all smiling, but at the same time, you look at that and it's not. So what are some of like the trick, I wouldn't call it like tricky, but like safety measures that you would advise someone who is a newcomer or trying to navigate this credit system?
So you need to get a financial planner, and it's free. I know, because my husband works in the bank.
It's free.
He does financial advisory as well. Get a financial advisor. Sometimes you get an email from the bank, you think they want to sell you something, but really just want to sit with you, look at your finances, and help you grow your finances and help you manage that. So a lot of people don't, I know a lot of immigrants don't go for a financial planning session with their banking advisor. That's really, really key to do. The thing with credit cards is it's about discipline, right? So I use credit cards too, but I have money in my bank that I'm going to use to pay the credit card. So as I'm swiping the credit card, you know, I know when to pay it back, and I've never paid interest on it. And I do that because the credit card also offers me a lot of perks. I get points. I get, you know, I think last year on my I'm not going to say the name of the bank. I don't want to give them free advice. But I got close to $500, you know, in cash back from using my credit card. And I never paid interest on the credit card. So it was just like, I'm using it to, you know, to pay so I can get points, and then I have my money to pay it back. So it's all about discipline. There's nothing wrong with using a credit card. It's all about discipline. And if you want to go, I don't want to use a credit card, that's fine too. But it's all about financial discipline. And there's one other thing that we do at our home. We do budgeting. So we use the app called Good Budget. At the start of the year, we do a budget, you know, and then we say, okay, this is how much is going to come in net, and this is our expenses. So we have a budget for grocery. We have a budget for, you know, for housing, for charity, you know, for social events, you know, for eating out. The last time we were checking our budget, we're like, we've already maxed out our eating out budget. No more McDonald's, right?
But not everybody can. But that would be a good one. But nobody's
discipline. It takes. You need to be. Everything in life takes discipline. It takes. You have to be determined that, you know what, I want to do this, and everybody has to be on board in your family, you know. So, and then we do an appraisal at the end of the year too, to say, okay, how did we do, you know, because as we're buying things, it's going into that category, and then we have that app, and it really, really helps us to actually.
What did you call the app again?
Good Budget.
Okay.
It's called Good Budget. You can sign up, and it's a very, really, really good app, and it helps us, you know, to make sure that at the end of the year we're not running into a deficit, right? And then we also have a budget for our savings as well. Well, okay, this is what is going to go into savings, and it helps us to be very, very, you know, disciplined when it comes to spending, right? So, okay, how much we have left in this category, how much, and then there's also bulk buying, and I know Nigerians are good for that. You know, there's groups where you can share your cow, share your tomatoes, and when you look at it, sometimes you go to, you know, superstore and then you buy tomatoes.
You look at the price, and you're like, what's going on?
I paid this much for this bag of. I can get like 5 boxes with that price, right?
No, I'm going to bring another thing here. So sometimes, if there's something I've noticed here for Canada, is those with larger families, they tend to like gain more because you can buy things in bulk.
In bulk, yes.
But when you're like a single person,
I know. Tell me about it.
It's tricky, right? It's tricky. Like if you go to the store now, I got these big stores, and you can say, okay, let me buy lots of things. So it's either you spend money buying single things, or you buy in bulk and then it spoils. How does one handle that?
So I mean, I guess if you're single, it's easy because then you can just buy what you need. And I think I used
but
to
it's like it can be more expensive.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. It not really, because when you're buying what you need per time, you know, you're just focusing on that time when you're buying what you need. So you go to the store, I just need a slice of bread. I mean, sorry, a loaf of bread, and that's what you get in the store as a single person, right? And then ability to manage, especially for food, it's cheaper if you buy a bag of rice. For instance, rice is not going to get spoiled. You have it in your own. Blend your pepper, put it in the freezer. It's way cheaper than, you know, spending a lot of money. Starbucks today, McDonald's tomorrow, DQ the next day. Like,
it looks very appetizing. Like
it's just $10.
Just $10.
Burger, sandwich, you know. And then even those things are expensive now. Last time I drove into McDonald's, I'm like, what? A sandwich meal is already like $12 with drink and fries. I'm like, that's expensive, right? So so you can still manage it as a single person, because you just have to be disciplined about how you spend your money, you know, things, and not just food. There's so many other things that takes your money away too, that are
like what exactly. Like if you say another thing, like especially for we that we're not used to the system, what's another thing that you don't know but it's taking your money.
So there's some nice to haves and there's some must have.
Mm.
So spend your money on the must haves, not the nice to haves, right? So nice to have would be like, oh, a bikini bag, you know, those kind of thing. You want to show off, you want to Instagram, you know, you want to show off your designer clothes, but if you're really being true to yourself and you look at your bank account, is that what you really need at that time, right? So I call that nice to have. So if you don't have money for the nice to have, there was a time when I'm like, I would rather just not do without it. And when I became really boxed up, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's a nice to have, I will have it. But there's some must haves that you know that this is a must have. I need to feed, I need to eat, I need to, you know, there's some things that you need to do that is a must have for you. So you need to budget for those ones first before you get to the nice to haves. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of immigrants make when they come newly. You know, they forget about the fact that, well, these things are nice to have, but focus on
it enter your eye. No, it enter your eye. Maybe you're seeing this. You know, say when you enter Canada, you're like, I can get these things.
Yes,
okay, now they give me credit card, so I can just buy what I want.
You go get a nice 2025 Mercedes.
Correct.
Right? And you're like, you're paying a lot of money
financing.
You need to calculate that and see how much are you actually paying the bank. You know, for that. You know, if you calculate it, one time I sat down and I calculated, you pay $122. So they make it look cheap, like per month, but calculate over the cost of the 6 years, you know, and then take the cost of the actual car. The difference is what you're making the bank get rich. That's what they're using to pay the bank in the banking.
This one now, why it was they drop here? Because now in my head I'm calculating, hey, God, I'm feeding bank. Where I'm
feeding a lot of money, right?
Even talking about the car, if there's another thing I noticed here in Regina, is that transport system also like it takes your money, because somehow some people might not necessarily want to get a car. You're like, okay, I'm a single person here, why do I need to get a car?
I can just get on the bus.
You can get on the bus, but when you spend like 1 hour, you're like,
I know, it's just about being wise about your spending. So when you first come, if you feel like, okay, I think I can afford to just pay cash for a gently used vehicle, that would be functional for me.
The gently used vehicles sometimes have issues. You know, when the warranty.
That's why you need to get a mechanic to check it for you. Right. So I can give you some contacts. I have some people that they will check it for you.
this one is doing business on top of my head again. See what
for you, and make sure that everything is good before you make that purchase, right? Because sometimes it's easier that way, because and then you're not, you know, you're sleeping, you're thinking, I'm owing the bank this month. Every time you're paying that monthly thing, and it's crazy now. You even go to a furniture store and they're telling you to be paying $50 per month for furniture. Like, it's just a furniture, guys. Come on, right? When you calculate the difference, you're actually paying the credit company or the bank a lot of money. Right.
What's your take on insurance and all this thing? Because everything has insurance. What's your take on that?
Insurance is very important. I'm not gonna downplay that. It's very, very important. So a lot of people have a lot of these things from their workplace, but you don't take time to actually read the plan. Right. So sometimes when you get employed, they give you your
they just sign everything.
You just sign. You
need
to go back. My husband would actually ask me, okay, can I see the package and compare it to the package that I have at my workplace and see, so that we're not double paying. What are they giving you that I already have? Take it off, so that we can, is it life insurance, is it this insurance and that insurance as well. Even for mortgage, there's mortgage insurance, such that if one of the spouse, if you lose your job, it's covered, because they know you can no longer pay your mortgage, right? So those are the questions that you need to ask. Don't just sign things. You need to look at it. Does my spouse already have this package? Then I can take it off and then I pay less premium, for that. So insurance is great. It's just that you need to really, really look into the tiny details before signing anything.
That's a whole lot, especially when you don't even understand what exactly you people like the banking world, how you people just pack different words together and like it be like saying it's gonna go better my life. Okay,
it's the responsibility of the banking advisor before they give you to sign to explain. So before, when you want to sign,
but companies don't necessarily explain it to you. They'll just give it to you and say this is it.
You need to ask, and I've had to ask HR sometimes. I'm like, okay, can you explain this to me in layman? I need to understand what exactly is this. Like, what exactly am I getting, right? So don't be shy to ask. It's better to be ignorant for a minute than be ignorant forever and lose a lot of money.
Now why we they ask questions now? Okay, now we've mentioned some things that are affecting immigrants. We've mentioned car, we've mentioned house bills and all of that. I'm going to mention house, because you mentioned first home savings account. Sometimes, like, at least you stay like 2 or 3 years, talking about rent. It's not something that we're used to in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you pay yearly, automatically people can even just have your own house. But here it's like a monthly basis thing. Like, how do you see most Nigerians are navigating it?
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of that, controversies on Instagram where people say it's better to rent than buy. Yeah. It's kind of divided. But, I mean, here's my take on that. I think do what works for you. So it's okay to rent while you're saving money for your down payment. What is not okay is if you go and borrow money somewhere and you try just struggle because I want to be a landlord by force.
Correct.
And then you go into debt.
Is it easy to have house in Canada? It's not easy.
It's not easy now. And then you say, I want to have my own house, and then you go into a lot of debt to get your down payment, and then you're paying through your nose.
Yeah.
You know, even the bank would appraise you based on your income and tell you what you qualify for. Oh, you qualify for a 300,000 household. You qualify for 500. You qualify for 700, right? Because they also understand that you need to be able to meet up your payments, right?
Yeah.
So I think do whatever works for you. I'm okay with, when we came, we were renting, my husband and I were renting an apartment, right? And then eventually we got to a stage where we bought a house, and then we moved to a bigger house, and then we used the other house for rent, So life is in stages and it's in phases. And then there's some people that when they come, Rita, they come boxed up.
They come boxed up,
They come. I know someone who came
different levels.
They brought this money from Nigeria and they just paid cash for the house. But you may be looking at those people and you want to be like them, but your pocket is telling you that watch your size, though, right? So you need to be true to yourself. Don't let peer pressure affect you. Be true to your own financial situation and look at your financial situation. What can I afford? What is my journey and how can I get there? And then plan yourself accordingly.
Earlier on, before we came on air, I mentioned the fact that, they say grass is greener on the other side. But there are also things you have to be very, very careful, which are all the things that you've listed. If I'm not supposed to pay money for her. But all this advice that she's given so far. But nothing that happens in Nigeria is we sending money back home, because it's going everywhere. Like, you have to be prudent in your spending. And the cost of living in Nigeria, I'm sure if you call anybody in Nigeria right now, you're like, it's tough. You understand? How do you think it's affecting we here in the diaspora?
Yeah, of course it is. And that's what I'll take it back to when I talk about the good budget planning that we do. So we have a budget for family support. We have a budget for family support. So that kind of guides us as well to make sure that we're not overdoing. Although there's some times when, we know as Nigeria is now, where there's like an emergency, oh, please, I need help, there's those times.
Yeah.
But it's important to plan already that this year, this is what I'm sending to my parents, this is what I'm sending to my siblings, and then work with that plan based on your own income and your budget.
That's a good one. Now work on that plan. It's not easy, but she said discipline is what will work. We've done lots of it. In fact, as if I'm inside economy class right now. Did you teach at any point in time? You did.
I did. Yeah, I did.
You did. You see, she's
I taught in primary school in Nigeria. Then when I just left secondary school,
is it for service year?
For JAMB. No, it was actually, I was a fresh secondary school graduate.
Are you serious?
And then I was looking for a job, and then I just went while I was waiting to get into university. I taught a class in, I think it was primary 5, and I taught them everything: math, English, everything, health education.
Your one is Gogwero. You joined her.
I just did everything. Yeah.
Okay. Give us an advice, because we're gradually running off the show. Give an advice to like someone listening right now, a new immigrant coming here, financial advice. What would you say is the best thing that you could, something that they can take home right now with?
Be true to yourself. Be true to your financial situation. Don't allow peer pressure to affect you. Also, it's good to celebrate too.
Before
an event, please sponsor event. We're not fully booked. We are still taking openings, And a lot of people feel like, event plan is expensive. Like, why would I pay an event planner? Let me just go to Party City, do all of this, But you just need to contact me, Let's talk, We know how we do this.
So, and another thing again, the other additional plan is that she's an economist, so she can help you plan it according to your budget. So, in case maybe this is the one that your money can reach, she can help you out with it. That's the plus.
That's the plan. And I get a lot of vendor discounts from being an event planner. So by the time you look at all the discounts from DJ, discount from photo, discount from food, and you add up, you've paid me already. One
thing that I've really learned is that sometimes just make your life easier. Get somebody that knows the business. Right. Like, okay, this person knows event planning. For example, my mom is a caterer back in Nigeria. She knows, and she'll be like, this person just wasted money on food. You could have actually managed it. But some people just be like, I want to just spend this money on it.
And you won't see the money.
And then they will not see it. And then what you even want your guests to enjoy, they will not enjoy it at the end. So sometimes get the experts to do the work for you. That's another keyword for today. So this is her. This is Elizabeth Adebogun. She has been dropping lots of wise words for us. In fact, I tell you, say maybe give us word of the day, but you don't already drop lots of wise words. So I don't know if you still get another one. But anyways, she is the founder, owner of Twins Luxury Events. So in case you're planning an event right here in Regina, Saskatchewan, do you go outside also? outside of Regina.
Regina.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm open to travel.
Okay, so she's open to travel. So in case you're like, in fact, I need this financial, this one is financial event planner, you know, working according to your budget. In case you say you need her, then you can always go to Twins Luxury Events on our Instagram. Social media handle pages is Twins Luxury Events. Okay,
and I do have my word on the marble. It's if you wait for perfect conditions, you would never get anything done. Yeah, so that happened to me because I had so many excuses not to start. I started during COVID, right?
Yeah, you said so.
So that's my word for anybody who's listening. If you want to venture into something, if you wait for perfect conditions, you will never get anything done.
In fact, right now I'm chopping all this words. Oh yeah, I dropped something in your native language for us. I'll put you on the spot. There's no how.
Okay, ain't tell me about
Okay, I'm putting that one on your marble. Now I now feel like playing Shewa, but I've not played my Canadian music. Who sang Shewa again? It's not part of many people.
I think he originally did the many people.
Yeah, so I'm actually I'm wondering if Shewa is part of the the many people.
Yeah.
It's part of the many people. You don't say I bring live band. For time you say they do live band, okay? This is Twins Luxury with another side. It's like singing is part of it. There's another. You see now.
I see the band when they rehearse now. You know, I'm everything when it comes to.
You're everything, right? All right. Thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm gonna play Euro Canadian because we still have to show our love to Canadian artists, especially Africans doing so much work here. So I'm gonna end with Tome. So even though we're seeing the luxury feel, you know, that's luxurious feel. Definitely. Yeah. So enjoy this one. This one is a Fine Pass by Tome. Yeah, and she is also a Canadian doing so well. So do stay tuned with us next week Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. I say thank you so much for doing a lot of work for us on the show. All right then, enjoy this one. This is Tome who says Fine Pass.